Joining us now is the Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington State. He is the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee. Congressman, let's talk Cuba first. The U.S. sending the aircraft carrier Nimitz to the Caribbean, indicting former President Raul Castro. Do you believe President Trump is setting the stage to repeat in Cuba what we saw happen with Maduro in Venezuela?
I think he'd like to. Problem is there's no real alternative here. There's no Delcy Rodriguez in the wings that he can put in place. So it's really just chaos in Cuba. And it's worth taking a step back. How exactly is it that Cuba threatens us to the point that we have to, basically, do an embargo, make the entire, country of Cuba, all the people there suffer, risk another military engagement, more conflict, more destruction? And what is Cuba doing to us? I mean, I don't like their politics. I don't like the way they're treating their own people. I certainly don't like their adherence to communism. But how does this have anything to do with U.S. interests? The president is dragging us into another foreign conflict, destabilizing another major country, this one 90 miles off of our coast. And for what? This is just part of a larger disastrous foreign policy and national security policy from the Trump administration.
I do want to play what President Trump said yesterday about Cuba. Let's listen to
that. Other presidents have looked at this for 50, 60 years doing something, and it looks like I'll be the one that does it, so would be happy to do it. We want to open it up to Cuban Americans where they can go back and help.
You said, for what? What do you believe the U.S. really wants from Cuba?
It's hard to say. I mean, we want them to not be communist. We want them to not be, allied potentially with China and Russia. But I mean, this goes back. I mean, this is a Cold War fight. And the Cold War's over. All right. So, yes, the president has said 50, 60 years, people have intelligently decided that getting into a conflict with Cuba didn't make sense. And yes, Trump is the first president to make the unintelligent decision that we may as well go ahead and generate more conflict in our hemisphere.
Let's talk about the war with Iran. And Speaker Mike Johnson canceled an unexpected vote, or was expected, I guess, on the Iran War Powers Resolution yesterday, but then he canceled it unexpectedly after it appeared Republicans didn't have the votes to block it. What's your reaction to that move, as more Republicans seem to be growing frustrated with the war in Iran?
Well, let's stay focused on the big picture here. Procedural issues in the House aside, this war was a disaster from the start. It never should have been initiated. It's left us in a much weaker position at an enormous cost, and we need to put pressure on the president to stop this war and get a negotiated settlement. Now, what happened yesterday was there were some Republicans who were absent. We don't yet see much evidence that Republicans are actually switching their votes, which is the other aspect of this, and that is that the Republicans in the House and the Senate have let Trump do all of this, and no check whatsoever on his power, an unwillingness to even require him to come to Congress to get authorization for the use of military force. So I don't know that yesterday's decision shows that there were any Republicans who were willing to switch. It was just a numbers game. They had members who were absent, so they wanted to try to delay it, so they used a procedural tool to delay it. I hope that in the 9 days, or 12 days before we come back, that some Republicans will, in fact, change their mind and recognize how stupid this war is and how much it needs to end.
We did see some minds changed on the Senate side with their last War Powers Resolution vote.
Yeah.
Secretary of Rubio, we played, his optimistic tone that he struck earlier today. He said there's been slight progress on Iran talks, while saying that they still have to address the highly enriched uranium. Congressman, the ceasefire has now been in effect for 6 weeks. The Strait of Hormuz still blocked. Ships aren't really going through. What do you think needs to happen to get past this stalemate and reach a deal?
Well, this is sort of where we're at right now, and it is a terrible situation. Trump's war has empowered the hardliners in Iran, weakened the ability of anyone to truly challenge that regime, not accomplished the goals on nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles, or Iran's support for terrorism. What it's done is it's put the Strait of Hormuz front and center. The Strait of Hormuz, which was open before we started the war, we are now reduced to a place where we are trying to negotiate to get Iran to open back up the strait. And Iran's position is, how much are you going to pay us to do that? I think what we have to do is we have to work with the other countries in the region. We have to work with other countries in the world. There's a lot of countries deeply invested in getting the strait back open to do a deal with Iran to get the strait back open. But to do that, we're not going to be able to do it on our own. We need partners, we need allies, we need other countries who are invested in this problem. All of those other countries, Trump has pushed away, belittled and ignored. It's time to bring them in and actually have a collective diplomatic solution. Now, look, if someone wants to show me a military option here that's going to get us there, okay, I just don't see it. And we haven't seen it from the very start. Yes, we can destroy some of their missiles, their missile launchers. We can reduce their capability. We can't fundamentally change the strategic situation with the use of the military, something the president should have understood from the start.
It was supposed to be a 4 to 5 week operation, and here we are now months into this war. Congressman Adam Smith, thank you for being with us.